Hello everyone, this is Devin again. It's an update on my 75 gallon in-wall reef tank with the DIY live rock. I'm going to call this week 5. I'm thinking it's probably close to week 5. It might be Wednesday. I think would actually be week 5. But little update. We've gotten a few more pieces of livestock. I'll go over those. Also, I've got a question I want to ask everybody who watches for some input on, and it pertains to infection. So let's go with the livestock first, and I'll kind of update there. I think everything livestock wise, at least from corals, is going well. The zoanthids here and the Pink's bird nest all came from Mr. Coral. This is like each one of these frags was $10 a piece online. I think if you look up $10 frags, they shipped, I got 10 separate pieces, 7 of them are here, one of the zoanthids didn't opened up, but basically they're just variations of different colors of zoanthids, and I figured that little bird's nest, and there's a nice group of zoanthids that did not come from him. The zinnia I talked about in the past, that was one I got from Justin Frags, just $5 or whatever, and I thought I killed it, putting it on the rock, and I mean it was just a smashed up little mess, and it's coming along nicely now. The star polyps also came from Justin Frags, and Justin Frags has an online store. Just sounds just like it is, Justin Frags, one word. You can look it up online, but he's actually local enough to me. I can drive to his house, and so he's got a nice little shop. It's an official store or whatever, but it's basically in his basement. So some really good deals. This frog spawn was it's 3-headed, and I think I paid $40 for, $47 for, something like that. I mean, but I buy quite a bit from him, and I've spent a lot of time over there, and so he usually does me pretty good. So the leather there, still not looking too good. I'm not sure what's going on with it. It may be toast. I don't know. We'll see. Figured I'd just leave it alone and see what happens, because so far I've realized that I just leave stuff alone, some of this stuff kind of comes back. That little frag there is from Mr. Corals. That's a little purple leather, and it's come along some. I can actually tell some changes in it just when I've had it in a couple of days. It's doing well. Kenya trees and a little piece of zinnia there. Looks good. The Kenya trees I bought, and the zinnia I think just kind of come along. Again, I think it's kind of the weed of saltwater aquariums, but it's really pretty, and so right now I just like to have the movement and the life in there, so I know some people are not fans. My candy cane coral or trumpet coral, I think I told you in a previous video, I kind of got this at a real deal. Somebody brought it back to the aquarium at Justin Frags, and he just got it back, and it was laying in the bottom of a tank just on its side, and so he sold it for me for real cheap. For the number of heads on it, I got a really good deal. But it looked really rough for a while, but now some mouths are opening up. You can tell that now. And about a week or two ago, I noticed there was some feeders at night. That's the first time I've sign of life I'd seen, so I fed it a couple of times with some coral snow. And now its mouths are opening up some during the day, so I suspect this thing's going to just start recuperating. The other piece I got from Mr. Coral is that was the only piece that I really kind of think that they didn't do exactly what they said they were going to do. That's a little mushroom back there behind the candy cane. And it's actually, believe it or not, it looks a little better than what it did when I first got it. I just kind of glued it on that rock, but it's supposed to be a extreme blueberry blue mushroom, and just looks like kind of a brown mushroom to me, so we'll see what comes of it. Red mushroom from Justin Frags, and also there's an orange Recordia mushroom behind it. That's they're doing well. It's just I can't seem to get them attached to stay attached. I'll get that red one attached, and I'll start to move it, and probably just not waiting long enough and patience, and then it'll be stuck to 2 little rock pieces, and in the process of trying to get it glued on somewhere, it ends up breaking loose. So I put some big pieces of just some broken coral. I just broke up some pieces of old dead coral I had and laid those in there. So now if it attaches again, I'll just set that whole piece out there. So another zoanthid's looking good. My purple mushroom came from Justin Fragg's, and it's looking good too. So, and it actually, I was able to glue it on, and it's attached now. So all is well there. Now, my question is that I had a coral beauty in this tank, a royal grama, and for a very short, fleeting period, had this beautiful bubble tip green anemone. Didn't even get a chance to post on it. Lasted about a day, climbed up my aquarium glass, got sucked into the power head over here, and got chopped up into little bits. It was extremely sad. My chest hurt over this because it was such a pretty bubble tip anemone, and I just hated that I wasted it. But again, it kind of shocked my aquarium pretty bad. The next morning, my water was all cloudy. I did some emergency water changes, ran some carbon. I think most everything did well. But before that happened, I already had that coral beauty had started showing a few white spots on it. And we're just going to line, and I still think it might have been sand spots. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, because one day it would have sand on it, the next day it wouldn't. It seemed to come and go too often for ick. And so, but, I can't say for sure, but it would, one day it'd have spots, the next day it wouldn't, kind of back and forth, and it was still eating and doing well. But after the anemone fiasco, it died about 3 days later, along with the same day my royal grama, who had started hiding and kind of looking bad after the anemone. It kind of looked like more like he'd been picked on. He had some pretty big white spots on him, like not like little white flecks or sand or anything like that, like, a whole chunk of his flesh had been bit off or something. And so I kind of blamed the damsel because he was hiding and stuff. But basically, that may have been a type of infection or something brought on by the anemone also. But he basically died too. So my other clownfish is in a 40-gallon tank I set up because I thought I saw some white spots on him. This clown, I thought I might have saw some on him yesterday. And I was going to pull him out, but I'm looking at him today and I don't see anything. So I'm not sure, that damsel is kind of aggressive. He kind of pecks at them sometimes. And so once if I do remove all my fish, this is my question, I'm never putting him back in. He'll just stay to keep my quarantine tank biologically active. But so my question is if I have ick, from what I researched, you can't get rid of it. There's nothing you can safely treat an aquarium and get rid of it. You might heal your fish. You might be able to get them, you can use some of the metronidazole in the food and with some focus to make it taste better. And some people use garlic. I've tried these. I've not been using, I used to focus and stuff one time in here, and then I decided, well, I'll just take that fish out. And so I've just been treating the water in the other tank with the metronidazole with him in there. But the question is it worth it? Is it worth taking all the fish out of your tank, letting the ick run its life cycle for the 8 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks and starving it out? Basically, that's the only way you can really get rid of it from a reef aquarium. You can treat your fish with some of the herbal stuff, but the parasite's still there. So it's like if you want to get rid of it, you got to remove everything, take it out for 8 weeks, not the corals, but the fish, their food supply, and they'll basically run their life cycle. They'll starve out, and they'll die, and they'll be gone. But are you always going to be bringing it back? That's my question. Is it like if you get a fish from anywhere, even if you use a quarantine, and there's always a chance they might have some in their gills, or they might have some like, and so is it really worth doing all that, or is it just better trying to keep healthy fish and not worrying about it? So that's my question. I've got me a 40-gallon set up. If I can catch all these boogers, I guess I could pull them out for 8 weeks and go from there. But right now I'm thinking about just doctoring up the one clown in there and then sticking him back in here as soon as I get him kind of situated. So any input on that would be great. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoy the video.